hot here in Augusta, my God. This is not Vermont weather, so all right. Make a deal with you. You guys come north in the summertime, we'll come down here south in the wintertime. We'll work on an Augusta, Burlington, Vermont exchange program. How's that?
Send us some snow.
Let me thank you very much on such a hot day for being here today. I really do appreciate it. This is a pivotal and unprecedented moment in American history, and our job is to run an unprecedented campaign. And what Nina was saying is that we now have over 1 million volunteers signed up and working as we speak. And his billionaire friends, they got a lot of money. But at the end of the day, people power defeats money power. But that is only true if people are prepared to stand up and educate and organize and rethink who you are as American citizens. Now, I don't have to tell anybody right now that you have a government and an economy that is owned and controlled by a handful of billionaire families. That's the reality. No one talks about that on TV. I know that. All right? But that is the reality. And the only way we defeat those people, the only way that the agenda for the American people gets through rather than the billionaire agenda is when we stand up, organize, and fight back. And that is what this campaign is about. And here in the beautiful state of Georgia, we intend to win the Democratic primary here in Georgia. And after we win the Democratic primary, we damn well intend to defeat badly the worst president in the history of the United States. But that's not all we're going to do. Okay? What we are going to do and what I believe makes this campaign unique, and where I need your help, not only to win the primary, not only to win the general election, but we are about transforming this country and creating an economy and a government that works for all of us, not just the 1%. Now, I want you to do some thinking. Don't think, I'm going to be on a TV show tomorrow, and they're going to ask me, what's the news of the day? What happened today? What kind of tweet did Donald Trump send out? Not the issue. What we have got to do is to go into our hearts, and we determine what the issues are. What kind of lives do we want to live? What are the impediments that we face? What's going on in our society? And it's not going to be the TV cameras or the front page of the newspapers. They're going to tell you that. So I want you to ask yourself, think about it. You are living in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. And yet we have millions of Americans who are working 2 or 3 jobs just to pay the bills in their families. How does that happen? We are living in a moment in history where for the first time in modern American history, the younger generation will have a lower standard of living than your parents. We have seen for 40 years the shrinking of the middle class. And now what we see is, despite a huge increase in productivity, worker productivity, an explosion of technology, the younger generation will leave school deeply in debt. Their wages, real wages they earn, will be lower than their parents, have a harder time finding a decent house. Why is that? And I want you to think about that. We have, when you think about society, ask yourself why it is that we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. I get a little bit tired of hearing from people who tell me how much they love their country, they love America, but apparently they don't love the children of this country who will become the next leadership of this country. If you are a young parent, you tell me whether you can find quality, affordable child care in Georgia or Vermont or anywhere in America. Why are we giving tax breaks to billionaires, but we can't find quality, affordable child care for working parents? Why is it that school district after school district is finding it harder and harder to find qualified teachers because the wages for teachers are so low that young people are no longer going into the teaching profession? When you and I know there is no job more important than educating our kids. So you got the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any country. You got a child care system which is dysfunctional. You got public schools all over this country that are underfunded. But then if somebody graduates college, as often as not, they're going to be deeply in debt. Now think about it for a second. Get outside of the box. We need the best educated workforce in the world. Why is it that millions of people are struggling with debts of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for the crime of what? Of getting a decent education? Frankly, that is insane, and together we're going to change that. When you think about what's going on in this country, you think about what is not talked about on television, and you got to ask yourself why that is the case. What role TV and newspapers play, who owns them, and so forth. In America today, we have more income and wealth inequality than at any time since the 1920s. 3 families own more wealth than the bottom half of the American people. You hear that? The top 1% owns more wealth than the bottom 92%. Does anybody think that that is vaguely moral or acceptable?
No!
All right. Well, part of our campaign is to tell the people on the top that we are going to end their greed.